Welcome back to Crypto Warehouse. My name is Mike, and today we are going to take a look at AERODROME Finance, which is a marketplace on the Base Layer 2 network. We're going to go over what AERODROME is. We're going to have a look at the tokenomics, the white paper. We're going to have a look at the price action. We're going to have a look at also the market cap and what CoinGecko has to say. And then we're going to give you a price prediction. Before we begin, can we please ask you to like and subscribe to Crypto Warehouse and help us to make more videos like this. Before we begin and look at AERODROME Finance, let's have a quick look at Base. Base is a layer 2 blockchain that sits on top of Ethereum. It is owned and operated by Coinbase. So Coinbase, of course, is the largest crypto exchange in America and one which wants its own chain. We have the likes of BNB chain for Binance and Kronos for Crypto.com. In Coinbase's case, they have launched Base. And sitting on top of that, we have, of course, AERODROME Finance, which is the central trading and liquidity marketplace on Base. And before we begin, I just want to point out I am very impressed by this project already. This isn't a sponsored video. I am doing this. This is an independent review of the project. And as always, all of the links will be down below in the description underneath this video. So let's have a look at the mission statement and unique selling points of AERODROME Finance. It claims to be the next generation AMM designed to serve as Base's central liquidity hub, combining a powerful liquidity incentive engine, vote lock governance model, and friendly user experience. AERODROME inherits the latest features from Velodrome version 2, and the NFTs vote to distribute token emissions and receive incentives and fees generated by the protocol. And down here we have their 6 unique selling points. Stable and volatile trading for low fees, 100% of protocol incentives and fees go to voters, liquid locked positions in the form of NFTs, permissionless pools, gauges and incentives, self-optimizing liquidity flywheel, and anti-dilution rebases for voters. So that's what it considers to be its unique selling points. And down here we have the flywheel that it's just been referring to. This involves the slippage, the fees, the emissions, the incentives and liquidity all working together to provide the backbone of AERODROME Finance. And although new, the figures are still impressive. $745 million in value locked, $1.5 billion in trading, $27 million a month in fees, and 207,000 monthly users. And as you know, if you watch us, adoption is one of our key tenets, and 207,000 users is not to be sniffed at. Tokenomics then. AERODROME Finance uses 2 tokens to manage its utility and governance. The AERO token, which is the ERC20 token, and the AERO, which is the ERC721 governance token, in the form of an NFT. The AERO is distributed to liquidity providers through emissions. The AERO is used for governance. And down below here it talks about the longer you lock your tokens up for, the more voting power that you have. So the longer the vesting time, the higher the voting power. The initial supply of AERO is 500 million tokens, with 450 million distributed as vote-locked AERO tokens. Weekly emissions will be 10 million AERO, 2% of the initial supply, and the emission schedule will follow 3 phases. Takeoff, that's the first 14 weeks. Cruise, after epoch 14. Emissions will decay at 1% per epoch, ensuring total supply inflation decreases over time. When emissions programmatically drop below 9 million per epoch, approximately epoch 67, the AERO voters will take control of the supply through its system. I like to see this. This is a nice touch. Increase emissions by 0.01% or decrease emissions by 0.01% or leave them unchanged. The winning vote will be determined by simple majority vote. And something that's always useful to know is what percentage of the emissions, what percentage of the tokens go to the team. And in this instance, they are going to receive 5% of the emissions. I don't think that's anything to worry about. As far as I can see, projects need to have a centralized support and development team. You can't have a fully decentralized, autonomous project. It does need maintenance. So 5% for me. Again, green flags all over this project. And I love this. Now it's time to leave the capsule, if you dare. David Bowie. Now this has to be a first. I don't think I've ever reviewed a project that's quoted David Bowie before.
Like David Bowie, like Ziggy Stardust, like.
So now we know a little bit about the project and what it does. Let's have a quick look at some of the tokens on AERODROME. Some of these tokens you will have heard before, but remember, this is a new chain. Base is not as old as some other layer 2s, so it's going to take time for it to fully flesh out. And that's probably the opportunity you need to get in on the AERODROME tokens. MFA is a token that I have reviewed a few weeks ago on this channel. It has synthetic versions of USDC and Bitcoin. Other coins such as BMX and Brett. BUIDL is another token that you should be keeping an eye on. And of course, more stable coins. We're not going to go through the whole list. There's over 120 of those tokens. As always, make sure to follow them on their socials. They have a fairly active and impressive X account detailing all the new additional coins that have been added, the APRs on some of these coins. As I've mentioned on the stream today when I was looking at this project, some of these APRs are unsustainable, but remember, some of these coins are new and they want to incentivize you to provide liquidity. These APRs are not going to be here forever and they will probably reduce by about 90% over the next 12 months. So make sure to keep an eye on this and the LP rewards. You may or may not hold some of these tokens, and it's probably not a bad idea to go over and take a look at some of the liquidity pools. But do remember, there are losses. There are IP losses that you can have when staking your tokens, and the two tokens are not paired. Before we have a look at TradingView then, let's have a look at some figures. So the market cap is only $605 million. As far as I can see, that is a bargain. The fully diluted valuation is 1.4 billion, however. Trading volume is not significantly high, circulating supply of 424 million, and the total supply is just over 1 billion tokens. This project has been on the move for the last 2 months. It's at $1.42 right now. And again, all of the links that you would ever need are also on CoinGecko. So rather than just looking at the links under the video here, go over to CoinGecko and you'll be able to go to the website. You'll be able to look at the contract itself. You'll be able to go and look at the chains. Everything about this project is listed on CoinGecko. So where do I think the price of AERO can go in the near to short term? Well, certainly I think we're going to try and retest $2, which is where we were trying to break through at the beginning to middle of April. I think $2 would be the first target. And then conservatively, I would expect us to be looking at somewhere in the region of $3 to $4. Remember, we're not too far into the bull run. We still have another 4 or 5 months before the supply shock on Bitcoin kicks in and then the alts start to follow. So I think if we can get to $2 to $3 in the next month or so for AERODROME, I do expect it to go higher. Please bear in mind, this is not financial advice. It is simply my opinion here for your entertainment. Where do I see it in the long term? Well, if Base really does establish itself as a decent layer 2, then I can see this doing multiples of where we are from now. Remember, this is all about generating fees. The more successful Base is, the more successful AERODROME Finance will be. And we all know that Coinbase is the darling of America. Coinbase isn't going to go anywhere, and therefore neither will Base. Overall then, this is a cracking project and a very good token to boot. The tokenomics are fine, the team fees are fine, there are no red flags on this project. As with everything I show you, do your own research. I appreciate watching these videos is doing your own research, but go and check the links out that I've left below. As far as I can see, I've not really looked at that many Base projects, but this one is good. If this project was on Solana, I would be over the moon with it. I, of course, am a big fan of Camino, of Orca, of Meteora, big fan of the other projects that are on Solana. If AERODROME was on Solana, I would be all over it. Just because it's on Base then does not mean that you shouldn't take a look. So please don't forget to like and subscribe to Crypto Warehouse. Help us make more videos like this, and don't forget you can become an OG member and financially support the channel for a few dollars a month. You have been great. I have been Mike. Until the next video, goodbye.